Brelynn Hunt, my sweet, dear Spelman sister, and the founding assistant director of this pageant. Great queen overall. Brelynn Hunt was born in Washington, D.C., and later raised in PG County, Prince George's County, Maryland. She moved to Atlanta, Georgia in the summer of 2014 to attend Spelman College, where she received her Bachelor's of Science degree in biology in May of 2018. Later that year, she matriculated to North Carolina State University, where she earned her Master's of Physiology in 2020 to better prepare her for her ultimate goal of becoming a physician specializing in obstetrics and gynecology. Brelynn has a passion for inspiring the youth and encouraging them to achieve higher education. Coupling this with her fiery passion for multimedia, Brelynn began displaying her love and skills for beauty, fashion, and higher education on her YouTube channel, Beauty and Brains 5, which I'm sure y'all know of. A lot of y'all have also mentioned that. Here she created video blogs or vlogs and college advice videos sharing her journey in college, achieving over 49,000 subscribers and over 5 million views in total. Now Brelynn continues creating content as a pre-med student at Meharry Medical College and HBCU Medical School in Nashville, Tennessee, where she balances the glitz and glam of medicine and healthcare with the real and raw experience of a non-traditional pre-med student. Utilizing her impact for greater good, Brelynn champions health equity, advocating for women's health and using her platform, skill sets, resources, and network to create change because she believes that it is her calling to help to resolve the maternal health crisis. Brelynn serves as a mentor, advocate, and inspiration to many with the belief that she was put on this earth to make an impact, change lives, and Brelynn continues to work towards building her influence in order to change the world, which is why she's always giving back to this pageant. She said, I'm done, I gotta go, I gotta focus, and then still comes back and helps every year. And as we announced last week, she will be the host of this year's pageant. So ladies, give it up for Queen Brelynn, and I'll hand it over to you.
Hey ladies! Okay, first of all, I'm so sorry I had to sit through that. That was a very long bio. Okay, next time I'm gonna give you my short bio. But thanks, I'm so excited to be here. Like Daryl said, I have been involved with this pageant since the conception of it, and this is the first year that I'm like a step back. So it's really weird to just be now meeting you guys because I would have been all up in your business at your interviews and things. But I'm glad that we're getting to meet now. And I really want to get to know you guys. Again, like he said, well, I didn't have any of my pageant information on there, but I've been competing in pageants for the past 5 years now. I've been top 5 at Miss Maryland. And so I also want to be able to impart any information, knowledge, and advice that I can for you guys as you're preparing for your pageant in a few weeks. So whether you want college advice, social media advice, or pageant advice, I'm your girl. So welcome to the B Squared workshop. So today you guys are gonna learn everything beauty and brains. So you guys already heard my whole spiel. I'm a Spelman College alumna, Master of Physiology. I'm currently earning my Master's of Health Science at Meharry Medical College. I'm a YouTuber, I'm a podcaster, I'm a mentor, and my whole mantra is beauty and brains. Now, before I get into it, I have to do this to y'all. I hope you're not gonna be upset with me. I wanna hear from you all. So I wanna hear your HBCU introductions. I know Daryl has been, I know that he has been on y'all about your intros, and I wanna hear them. I wanna see them in full action. So give me your name, but I want a little bit of extra to it because I'm just like, I hope that y'all are ready for this because this is your practice for somebody who's going to give you like real advice before you guys hit the stage. I'm sure you've been practicing and you already know it, but this is a good practice time. I want to see it and hear it. But I also want to know, I'm sure some of you guys are maybe possibly representing states that you're not currently living in. So you can also add that as well as your talent and a fun fact.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Escalante. My home state is Delaware, which also happens to be my HBCU state. I plan on going to the Delaware State University to major in aviation because I want to become a professional pilot, and my talent is dance.
Okay. Hi, my name is Javen Buford, and I am Miss Georgia HBCU team. and I am from Atlanta, Georgia, which is exciting. And I will be majoring in biology and attending Johnson C. Smith University, and my talent is tap dancing.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nia Brown, your Miss Kentucky State HBCU team. In the fall, I'll be attending the Kentucky State University. My talent is twirling. I reside in Michigan, but I am Miss Kentucky HBCU team. And a fun fact about me is I love reading.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aja, your Miss California HBCU teen. I am from Indiana. The talent I am doing is a spoken word poem. And one fun fact about me is I have a twin.
My name is Jakaylee Minor. I'm Mississippi. I currently reside from Mississippi, and I am from Mississippi. The talent that I will be doing is a cheer routine. It will be a mix of HBCU cheer and traditional cheer. One fun fact about me is I'm an identical twin. I have an identical twin sister.
Greetings. My name is Sabina Shanetta Betty Woodley Sobers, an incoming bison at the illustrious Howard University, where I will double major in political science and creative writing. A future New York Times best-selling author, I am your Miss New Hampshire HBCU team. My talent is going to be spoken word poetry, and one fun fact about me is that I have a turtle.
Good evening. My beautiful Ugandan name is Sanyu Lerato Namirimu Lukoma. I will be attending the Mecca, Howard University, majoring in journalism with the hopes of becoming a broadcast journalist. I am your Miss New Jersey HBCU teen, and my talent is an original spoken word poem. One fun fact about me is that I'm the author of a children's picture book called Subi's Sunny Smile.
Hi, my name is Anaya Payton. I'm Miss New York HBCU teen, and I currently reside in Brooklyn, New York. And my talent will be stomp and shake cheer. And a fun fact about me is I love to do makeup.
Greetings, my name is Carly Elise Timmons. I am your Miss North Carolina HBCU teen. I currently reside in Florida, and my talent is going to be dance. And one fun fact about me is I am in the International Baccalaureate program.
Hi, I'm Selena Aristine, your Miss Ohio HBCU teen. My talent is I'm going to be performing a monologue, and then one fun fact about me is currently I am at state wrestling, so that's very exciting.
Hello everyone, my name is Jay Wilson and I am Miss Texas HBCU teen. In the fall, I will be attending North Carolina A&T. A fun fact about me is that I am an older sister to a younger brother, and my talent is visual arts.
Good evening. My name is Nadia Anastasia Grant Webster. In the fall, I will be attending the exquisite North Carolina Central University, majoring in criminology with a minor in behavioral psychology. Representing the beautiful Mountain State, I am the original Miss West Virginia HBCU teen. I am originally from Washington State, and I will be performing a song for my talent. And one fun fact about me is I actually have a small business where I make custom press-on nails.
But good evening, my name is Janiyah Larissa Joseph. I will be attending the esteemed Howard University, majoring in psychology with a minor in business, with plans of opening my own private practice. And I am Miss District of Columbia again. My home state is Boston, Massachusetts. And the talent that I'm going to be performing is I'll be performing a song with some guitar. And one fun fact about me is that I am the captain of my school's step team.
Awesome. Okay, well, it was so nice to meet all of you guys. I hope you don't hate me for making you do that. But the more that you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. And so I am a person who's very forgiving because I know like the stages of how this goes. So you all did amazing. Thanks to those of you guys who really like put on your performance pants and really introduced yourself. I think that again is going to help you guys out. And if you ever want any tips, tricks, or notes on your intro, you can definitely reach out to me. I'll give you guys my contact information after this. But that was just a little icebreaker so that we all, feel more calm and ready. But let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty. Okay, so we're here to talk about beauty and brains, right? So this is my B Squared workshop, and we're going to be covering these 4 themes of success: being fearless, being strong, being smart, and being true. And okay, let me make sure I have my chat open. Awesome. So first things first, I heard that you guys are from everywhere. You're going to different HBCUs. You probably all have different dreams and goals in life. I want us to all take a moment before we get started in this workshop to write down like one of your biggest dreams that you want to accomplish. If you could never fail, if time was no issue, if money was not a problem, what's one thing that you've actually been kind of maybe afraid to say out loud or even afraid to dream? Take like 2 seconds to think about it. Does anybody want to share?
I can share first. One dream that I want to accomplish is opening my own performing arts like studio for underdeveloped communities, because there aren't that many types of opportunities for people of color. So that is one of my big dreams that I wish I could accomplish.
Awesome. Beautiful. Okay, let's see. And I'm going to call you guys by your states just because my name, I don't like when people mispronounce my name, so I'm not going to mispronounce anybody else. New York.
I said that I want to become a full-time model. I just don't always see it as realistic, like full-time, but yeah, that's my dream.
Thank you. Miss DC.
Mine is the same as Miss New York. I have always dreamed about like being a professional model. I've always kind of like done it on the side as something for fun, but I've always kind of played with the idea of like, what'll happen if this is actually what I decide to do with my life?
Thank you for sharing. Miss Delaware?
Hi, I think my biggest dream would be to earn all 4 pilot license and become a commercial airline pilot.
Wow, very impressive. Thank you for sharing. Miss Missouri.
Hi, one of my biggest dreams that I always wanted to do was become an actress. I wanted to act when I was age 10, but due to financial problems, I wasn't able to do that. So that's me.
Thank you for sharing. Miss New Jersey.
If I had unlimited funds and time were no issue, I would definitely want to write, produce, and star in my own sitcom about homeschooling on a major networking channel.
That's so cool. Come on, Issa. My boss, period. Miss New Hampshire.
Mine would probably be to be an author and to be able to open a library in St. Vincent.
Thank you for sharing. Miss Texas.
So what I would want to do is create a line of undergarments for children. The only reason that I kind of haven't did anything because it's like it's hard to actually like get in the business of it because it's kind of like oversaturated. So that's what I would do.
Thank you for sharing. Miss West Virginia.
Hi, I think that if I had unlimited funds and time were no issue, I would definitely want to perform on Broadway in most likely Wicked or something by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and possibly win a Tony for it.
I love that. I love Wicked. I actually performed to a Wicked song when I competed at Miss Maryland last year. And that's the only show that I've seen on Broadway. So double whammy. Okay, Miss Mississippi.
Okay, now this is a really big dream, but if I couldn't fail, I'd probably want to become the first woman president of the United States, the first Black woman president of the United States. But that's a really big dream.
Period. Okay, Miss Kentucky.
It's a dream that I will accomplish. I want to have the big white house with the black interior steps, with a big family and a husband. I want to have one of those movie type of dreams. Once I graduate college and get my life settled in.
Yes, I know that's right. I will. And Miss California. Did I skip somebody?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I want to create a school for kids that have mental disorders. Not particularly a hospital where kids get to stay and live, but a school of diversity. Around America, you don't see many hospitals with Black doctors or really Black kids, and some of the Black kids aren't getting the treatments that they need. So I want to create a school that'll help them learn how to deal with their mental disorders in a daily life. And I want to start at a young age so that as they get older, they won't struggle with these things and people won't see them as being angry all the time, but something that they'll have to live with for the rest of their life.
That is so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing. And then, Javen, what's your state? Did I pronounce your name?
Sorry, Georgia. Gotta change that. Georgia. Yes, my dream would be to open up a multi-purpose facility for dancers where they can be with their physical therapists, have classes for food and nutrition, have human anatomy classes, have physiology classes, anything they need to be successful as a dancer.
Wow, you guys, I'm so excited. Y'all are so amazing. And I love that you have all of these. What some of you all are saying is that these are all amazing big dreams. I want everybody to actually write these down right now, because a lot of times we have the capability to think big, but we let these things stop us. So whether it be we thinking that we can fail because other people tell us that we can't do it, or because we haven't seen somebody like us do it before, or because time is an issue, or because money is an issue. But the first step in being able to accomplish these dreams is to be able to think big and actually say to yourself, if I put forth the effort, I can possibly achieve these things. So I know that sometimes it may feel like it's impossible to get all 4 of the pilot license or become the first Black female president, but it is possible, and we're gonna work on the mindsets of getting us there. But first I want you to at least write it down. That way you can't say, well, maybe I'll just go after one of the pilot license, or maybe I'll just be a governor. Like, no, let's actually write down that big dream and that big goal. That way we can come back to it when we're scared, when we're doubting ourselves, when we don't think that we can do it, and remind ourselves when we felt like there was nothing in our way, this is what we said we were going to accomplish. That way we can actually accomplish it one day. Okay, so for me, it's not even that big of a deal, because there's a lot of people, there's thousands of doctors all over the world, but it feels like it's the hardest thing for me to say that I'm going to be the first doctor in my family. Like a lot of you guys here, I'm a first generation college student, and growing up in a suburb right outside of DC, it took me forever to even see a Black doctor. But for some reason, when I was small in my mind, 5 years old, I'm gonna be a doctor. I had no idea what that was gonna entail. And it's been a long journey, and I've learned so much about myself along the way, but I always hold on to me saying, like, I'm gonna be the first doctor in my family. So regardless of any of the obstacles that I face, I never let it deter me from going after my goal. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for sharing. If you have anything that you want to share as I continue on the conversation, please put in the chat. I have it open. I would love to read it. The question is, once you have these big ideas and these goals and dreams, is what is stopping you? Now, for some of you guys, it is money. For some of you, it is time. But if we really think about what stops us from these big dreams and goals that we have to what we're actually doing, a lot of it is because we're scared. So I'm gonna go over some of my 5 steps to becoming fearless, because I feel like this is a really big part of, this is your pre-college prep program, right? Presentation is everything that I wish I would have known before going into college. And if there's one thing that I wish somebody would have told me, is you got to go into college being fearless, because there's going to be some amazing girls, some amazing men, some amazing people. They're going to be doing some amazing things. They're going to have amazing resumes. They're going to have amazing talents. They're going to be also smart. But if you want to be able to leave and go on to do the things that you said today, you're going to have to be fearless and make sure that nothing deters you or stops you. So first step to that is letting go. You have to let go of, again, all of these negative things in your mind or in society. Shut out anything that isn't in line with who you want to be and what you want to become. If that's negative people, let them go. If it's, whatever it is, you cannot surround yourself with anything that is detracting you from your goals. The next thing is not being afraid to ask for help. This is going to be a repeated theme throughout this workshop, because you're going to realize that you can't get anywhere alone, whether it be competing for your HBCU campus title or just being a math major. You're going to need to ask for help. And it may feel like you're being weak and you're not being fearless when you're asking for help, but I just want to reiterate that asking for help is actually the way to be fearless, because you're learning and you're willing to put yourself out there and not necessarily make mistakes, but learn from other people's mistakes. Next up is think big. You guys have already done this, but I want you to continue to do this as you go to college. Again, when you think about being fearless, sometimes the thought comes in your mind, but you will immediately put it out. Oh, well, maybe I'll become but I can't do that because of this, and that. Or it would be really cool to do this. But no, the way that you're going to accomplish these amazing things is thinking big. Maybe I can't just be the Miss Freshman, but maybe I can be the campus queen. Maybe I can't just get a 4.0, but maybe I'll be valedictorian. If you want to accomplish all these amazing things in college, you have to be fearless, and that starts with thinking big, believing in yourself, and not letting any other thought get in the way of that. And then next up, we have making a plan. Works without plans are dead. You cannot think these big things and then be like, oh yes, I'm gonna be Miss HBCU teen, and do nothing about it. Are you practicing your talent? Are you practicing your interview? Are you practicing your intro? Are you packing your bag ahead of time to make sure that you don't leave your toothbrush or your contact solution? Are you making sure that you know exactly what you need to do each step of the way? And even if you can't be Miss HBCU teen today because the competition is not today, what are you doing today to make sure that you are working towards your end goal, which is whatever that is for you? And lastly, taking action. So a lot of times we will have, again, these thoughts, these ideas, these dreams, and maybe we'll make a plan okay, tomorrow I'm gonna reach out to this person who could help me, and you never send a text message. You never send the email. You never go to the office hour. You never send the DM. If you don't ask, you will never get it. If you don't take the action, you will never make that first step, and the first step will allow you to keep going and officially accomplish that dream. When you see people who have it or who have done it, and you see them and you're like, oh my gosh, you're so fearless, it's because they took that first step. So you cannot be afraid to take action, because that's what being fearless is all about. And being fearless is how you get results, not just in college, but in life. So these are all the things that I want you guys to get ready for, because these are how the world will try and define you, especially again when you go off to college. It's such a small bubble. So you're gonna feel like people are judging you. They're gonna judge your struggles, where you went to high school, your hometown, your HBCU, how many followers you have, how many shares you get on social media, your size, your hair color, your skin color, your everything. It's gonna be so minuscule to you, but so big to other people, because people love to try and define other people. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happened to you, where you came from, what your story is, what you look like, or how many times your followers hit the like button. If you believe in yourself and if you know who you are to the core, then you can be fearless and not let other people's judgments of you impact the way that you show up in the world. So we have some numbers here on the screen, some different statistics: 38,000, 5,455, 69%. You guys are probably like, what does this even mean? Well, with becoming fearless, and especially when we enter into college, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. In 2020, this number was the amount of people who died by suicide. This is the amount of people, young people, who died from a drug overdose. And this is the percent of people who are in juvenile detention for stealing or for physical violence. Why did I show you guys all these numbers? Not because I think that this is who you're going to be or who you're going to become, but because failure and hardships are a part of life. And they come so heavy and hard during college. I think it's one of those things where you're going to hear me talk today and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember Brelynn saying that. And then you're going to go to college and you're going to be like, oh, this is what she's talking about. Some of you all, unfortunately, have probably been through a lot of hard things in your life thus far, and I'm so sorry for you. But for a lot of people, college is going to be a whole different ball game where you're going to be experiencing these different failures and hardships that you've never had before. And it can feel very isolating and lonely because one minute you're on the top of the world and the next minute you are being attacked. It's a lot of different ways that these different things, again, can impact you. They can impact your self-esteem and they can impact your mental health. So I can't just talk about being fearless and going after your wildest dreams and chasing because all these things are going to happen. And what you really have to learn how to do is be strong. Now, when I say be strong, a lot of people, especially us as Black women, we go into well, I've always been strong. And that's because of this right here. The Black Superwoman Syndrome. How many of you guys have heard of this? You can raise your virtual hands. Okay, if you haven't heard of this, the Black Woman Syndrome, Strong Black Woman Syndrome, is an ideology that emerged during slavery as a survival tactic, and it's passed on through generations by parents' socialization of Black girls. It's basically the idea that Black women always have to be strong. We always have to know it all, do it all, suppress our emotions, help other people. We can't be vulnerable. We can't be dependent on anybody else. So how are we supposed to be strong when we're experiencing these failures and these hardships? Because like I said, life is going to get tough in college, whether it be I can't afford my next meal to I can't afford my next semester to I just failed this test and I'm about to get flunked out, or you know what, I have a 4.0 but I am really overwhelmed. Yes, I will definitely give you guys a link to this PowerPoint. So I'm going a little bit fast. It's a little bit long and I want to get through it all for you guys. But being strong is something that you're going to be faced with. But I just want to talk to you guys about how your strength, especially as Black girls, lies in your ability to say that we are human and to not feel like you have to know it all and not feel like you have to be there for everybody. It's okay to feel pain, ask for help, and allow yourself to be human. And these are my different tips on how to do so. The first thing is enduring. So do not hide your feelings. When something happens, I'll just use an example. We'll use the example of pageantry. You all are about to compete in 2 weeks, and most of you guys, everybody but one, is gonna go home without being Miss HBCU teen. A lot of you guys, probably all of you, hopefully all of you, have worked really, really hard for it. You've dreamed, you've imagined it, you went to sleep and you were like, oh, next time I go to sleep, I'm gonna be. But for some of you guys, this is not gonna be the case, unfortunately. And that can be very hard to deal with because you've worked hard for it and it's something that you can consider to be a failure. Now, not winning this pageant is not a failure. You guys are already winners. But just as an example, I'm just saying how you may feel after this pageant. First things first, don't hide your feelings. You can be upset that you didn't win. You can be upset that you blubbered your answer in the interview room, or that, your dance didn't go perfectly, or you missed one line in your spoken word. You can accept reality. Like, the reality is that I thought that I was going to be the queen after today, and I'm not. You can allow yourself to feel without blaming yourself. That doesn't mean, oh, I'm stupid, I'm a horrible dancer, I don't know how to speak well, I'm not great at interviewing. Two things can be true at the same time. I'm a really great interviewer and I wasn't the strongest interviewer that day. Or I'm a really great title holder and I have the potential to be a national title holder, but I didn't end up winning Miss HBCU teen. Without blaming yourself or hurting yourself or taking it out on others, which is another big part too. Listen to your emotions and just endure it and go through all of the different emotions that you have. The next thing is change if you can. This is not necessarily applicable to this situation, but in other things, like let's just say you had a semester where you had a really low GPA and you're really hard on yourself. Maybe you can change your circumstances or change your perception or change your attitude or change your plan. One of these things is going to help you with whatever situation you're currently dealing with moving forward. If you lost a pageant, maybe you can change your perception. Maybe, you know what? I was going to be really busy my freshman year anyway, and now I have all the experience and I can now try a pageant again later on in the future. Or change your attitude. Maybe I didn't walk away with the crown, but I walked away with all of these friends across the country and a few friends who are going to my HBCU. Or change your plan. You know what? I expected to use the Miss HBCU teen title to do these things at my HBCU or in my community, but now I'll just use my state title and partner with a new Miss HBCU teen. Things like that. Changing your circumstances or changing your perception, changing your attitude or changing your plan allows you to not just sit and dwell in, oh, this just happened to me and there's something that I can do about it. And the next thing is overcoming, because again, we're not just going to sit in it, we're going to move forward. Finding life inspiration. So I know for me, one thing that I love to do is use Instagram for good. I only follow people who inspire me, and if they don't inspire me, if they make me feel anything less than great, I unfollow. But it allows me, when I do go on social media, to immediately get inspired. So if right now I'm like, I really want to get into medical school, I'm following all the first year medical students, and I'm seeing them going to lab and studying for exams, and it gets me inspired because I'm like, you know what, maybe one day I'll be there. Or if I'm feeling like, you know what, I am not doing so well in my classes right now, and I need to strategize an escape plan for my current situation. How am I going to improve my GPA? That way I can get a scholarship or make the dean's list or get an A on my next exam. Overcoming can really look like making small steps. That way you overall are making the bigger picture better than what it currently is. And then of course, surrounding yourself with people who care about you and who will speak life into you. Make sure that you guys are surrounding yourself with people who make you feel good when you're in college. It's going to be very easy to be around people who you live next to, you have the same classes with, or just some of the first people that you met. And you can be friends with everybody, but the people who you have in your close circle, make sure that they are also pouring into you, because you shouldn't always have to be strong. And they should be able to take that weight sometimes, and you vice versa. Like, hey, I'm really feeling it today, girl. Like, I don't feel like I have what it takes to be a bio major, or I don't feel like, whatever it is. And they should be able to say, girl, I got you, and speak life into you. And when they're feeling down for whatever the case is, you should be able to do the same for them. And if you can't find that in a friend, then you need to get a new friend group, because again, things are going to get hard, and you need to allow yourself to be human and not feel like you have to be perfect or always have it together when you're around your friend group. So remember, strength comes from vulnerability and being able to say, I need help. So there's this really cool video of Will Smith, and he's basically talking about failing all the time. Failing early, failing often, and failing forward. Because basically, whenever you fail, you're not really failing. You're learning new lessons about yourself that's allowing you to be a better person in whatever aspect of it is. So it's a bit of a long video anyway, so I guess we'll just skip it, but you get the gist. Okay, so this is also a study skills workshop. So now we're gonna go into how to be smart. Of course, you guys are all smart. I'm sure you're all beauty and brains. SMART is an acronym. We're gonna look at it in multiple different ways. The first one, these are all different ways that I want you guys to take your brain from high school to college. Again, these are the things that I wish somebody would have told me when I was entering college. So first things first, when it comes to studying, put in the work, okay? So college work is very different than high school work. College is harder than high school. Now, I know that one of you guys here, maybe some of you all, even it's harder than AP classes. I didn't take the IB classes, so I don't know. Maybe it's probably the same. But if you've never taken a college level course before, especially if you're the type of person like me, I was a 4.0 student. I was, dean's list all throughout high school. Then I got to college and I got comfortable because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do what I always do. And them classes punch me in the face, and it's okay because I made it through and I learned. But if there's anything that I wish somebody would have told me is go 10 times harder when you get to college when it comes to your academics. And then if you realize, okay, I can like lighten up from here, then you can pull back. But don't go into it like, oh, I'm gonna do the same that I did in high school, because it's not high school. It's just simply not the same. The things are on a different level. It's gonna take more time for you to study. If you've never studied before in high school, like that was me, I never studied in high school. And it took me years to even learn, how do you even actually study? Like, what do you do other than do a couple of flashcards and look over the PowerPoint and be like, oh yeah, the professor said this. Like, learn how you learn. That way you can actually study in college, because you're gonna be giving a lot of information. You're gonna be giving it quickly. And I think the biggest difference between high school and college is sometimes the syllabus, the grade breakdown for college courses will be like 50% of your grade is the midterm and 50% is the final, or like 25% is the midterm, 25% is the final, like 0% is homework. Like there is no like worksheets, there are no discussions, like sometimes for some classes, but for a lot of times, even like if you're an English major, it'll be, you've got 3 papers and these are all 3 of these are your percentage for your final grade. And so if you make one mistake and you didn't study, or you didn't ask for help and you make one mistake on one grade, it like plummets your entire GPA. So I think that's very different from high school, where they have to like give you busy work, you know, every day. And so you find different ways to kind of buffer your grade. It's not that way in college. Exactly. So I'm seeing people saying in the chat, yeah, it's way harder from personal experience. So make sure that you guys just learn how to study, and again, put in the work to actually understand the information. And also, last thing I'm going to say about this is that things build up upon each other. So actually learn the information the first time, because sometimes you're like, you know what, I'll just kind of like get through it to like get this grade. French classes are so hard. So this is a good example. If you just try and get through it on like French 101, then when you get to French 102, you're gonna be like, oh crap, we definitely learned this last semester. And now that I don't know how to say bonjour, I can't like say a whole sentence. You know, if I didn't learn the vocab words, I can't use it in a sentence. Like things build upon each other. So make sure that you are, again, really putting forth the effort. That way you're not making things harder for yourself, because the worst thing is like having to teach yourself twice because you didn't learn it the first time. So that's the first thing. Let me see. Next thing, okay, we have M, which is market. So this is all about selling yourself with your resume and your cover letters. So does everybody here like have a resume? Yes, I see head nods. Okay, good. So something that I didn't realize until I got to college is that when you get to college, for the first month or 2, the resume that you currently have is good. And then around September, October, everything that you did in high school basically doesn't matter. You're starting fresh. When you get to college, unless it's something that you did that's really big in high school, like I had this really big scholarship, or I did this really big thing that I've continued all into college. Once you're in college, people only want to know what you've done since you've been in college. So it's really important to, first of all, what's that Latin? Yeah, I barely know Spanish, but my biggest advice is to create an Excel sheet. And I say to do one for like academic / your future career, then also one for community service, and write down everything that you've done, all your activities. That way it's very easy for you to write your resume, write a cover letter, or even just apply to different internships, summer programs, or even campus activities. A lot of times you're gonna be doing things, getting involved, and when it's time to actually apply for stuff, you're gonna be like, oh, I haven't done anything yet. Like, I'm just a college freshman. I don't know what I've done. And there's gonna be people who are able to market themselves and say, oh, well, I hosted this. And you know how people are very interesting with their resumes. Like maybe you hosted a girls' night for your freshman hall, but you know, on your resume, it's orchestrated and planned and organized, a yada, yada, yada. Write down all these different things and keep it in one space. That way, when it's time for you to basically start your resume from scratch, you have things to add to it. And it's kind of like thinking in the long term and then working backwards. So for example, if you know that you want to be a doctor and you are in the health careers program, make sure that you are writing down every time that you are doing anything that has to do with healthcare, medicine, people, or just community service. And I definitely say have, again, specifically one for your career. So for my writers out there, if it's like every time that I go to a talk and you're gonna have people come to your school speaking to you. If I go to that, that's like something that I can add onto my resume when I don't have anything to add yet. So write all these different things down. And again, specifically for community service as well, for those of you guys who maybe want to be Miss Campus Queen, let's say that you say that your platform is all about homelessness. And you say, okay, I did all this work when I was Miss Florida HBCU teen, and then I kind of stopped. And now I want to be Miss Florida State University, whatever, HBCU campus queen, and I've done nothing in the meantime. But maybe you have, but you just didn't write it down. So I just want to put this in your mindset now to kind of create a simple Excel sheet, one for your community service and then one for your academics. That way you can write it down as you go along, as well as write down every time you meet somebody and their contact information. So that way, let's say in the future, you're like, oh, I really wanted to plan this event, but I don't know anybody who could help me with this. You could go back and say, you know what? When I was a freshman, I volunteered at this one place and this was the person who was the head of it. Maybe they can help me do something similar for myself. You'd be surprised how many people that you meet, because you're going to meet a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And this is all about networking. If nothing else, when you go to college, it's all about who you know. And if you write down people's information as you go along, you're able to better market yourself for future things. And it's also very helpful for, again, campus organizations such as like sororities as well. Okay, next thing we have are extracurricular activities. So the A stands for active. I'm sure you guys are all very well-rounded, but keeping this in mind as well when you go off to college. My biggest recommendation is to join any and everything that seems interesting to you your freshman year, and then drop them off as you go along. If it's something that you know that you're super interested in, so like again, for me, I knew that I wanted to be a doctor. I joined health careers program. My freshman year, I'm gonna join the e-board. So, sorry, let me go ahead and answer this question here. Do we have to make a new resume with only the things we've done in college, or can we include things from high school or in the summer before college? So the more you go throughout college, the less things that you should and would be able to include from your high school career. For your first year or so, you can include things from high school, but by the time you're applying to like summer programs, the summer of your freshman year, there should basically be nothing on there from your from your high school career. Let me know if you have any more questions about that. But yeah, so join things that are interesting to you. Again, this is a really great way to network with people, to meet new people, to make friends, especially for those of you guys. I think most of you, if not, some of you guys, most of you are going to college out of state. So you are gonna have to meet a whole bunch of new people, new friends. This is how you meet people, and how you meet people who are interested in the same thing as you. You join activities that you are interested in. And again, just for future things, it's always good to get on the executive board. You don't have to be the president of everything, but to show leadership is always great for future things. You don't need to be the president of 12 different things, maybe 1 or 2 things. So join things that are interesting for your career, and then join things that are just fun. Like again, I was in the health careers program, but I also did the modeling club, and I also did like the makeup club and things like that, things that are fun as well, just so that you meet people and you're able to network. Okay, the R stands for relationships. Never burn a bridge in college, because you never know who's going to be who and who does what. Somebody that you meet in the cafeteria your first day could be your SGA president sophomore year, or they could be somebody who, the biggest thing about college is that mostly everything is student led. So your peers are going to be the people who are in charge of these organizations, whether they're 1 year ahead of you or they are, again, in your same year. So make sure that you're nice to everybody and you try and know as many people as possible, and that people are only saying good things about you, because these relationships can help you get, again, internships, campus organization positions, and things like that. as well as making sure that you have relationships with your teachers and your guidance counselors. So right now when you're in high school, I'm sure that you guys are making sure that you're having relationships with your guidance counselors. But when you get into college, you're gonna need a letter of recommendation for everything. And I think my biggest tip is to have multiple professors who you're close with. That way you're not always asking the same one for letter of recommendation. My biggest tip for this is to go to office hours. You should go to office hours frequently, consistently, and with a plan. Go to office hours frequently, consistently, and with a plan. So I would put my college office hours on my schedule. Like I had, like, for example, like my Google Calendar, I didn't have one back there, but nowadays, if I had a Google Calendar and I'm like, okay, I have math at 9 a.m. until 11:30, then I have English from 12 to 1:30, and then I may have math office hours. Every day it's on my schedule, I'm going, whether or not I have a question from lecture or not, but go with the plan. And the plan may be, when I'm doing my homework, okay, cool, this is one question that I have a question about, I put a star next to it. That way when I go to the professor's office hours, they know my name, they know my face, they see me all the time, and I actually have something to talk to them about, because I'm like, oh yeah, this question I had, number 3, can you walk me through it? It's really, really, really important that the professors know your name and your face. Some of you guys are going to small schools, some of you guys are going to big schools, but even if somebody has like only 30 students, it's kind of hard to know who's who and to write about them in a letter of recommendation. But again, you need a letter of recommendation for everything, whether it be SGA or again, your summer program. So you want for them to be able to speak about you and say good things. Making sure that you're having a relationship with your professors is a really important thing. And one thing that I like to do is that every time I would go in with not only a question that I would ask them about whatever the topic was, so again, whether that be math, biology, physics, but also one thing personal about me, not too personal. But for example, I could go in and be like, oh, hi, Dr. Hunt. Yeah, I have this question about, the law of physics. Can you explain it to me one more time? Okay, thank you so much. Also, guess what? I got a new dog today. Yeah, his name is Fluffy. Yeah, I'm really excited. All right, I'll see you next week. And the next time I come back, they'll be like, how's Fluffy doing? Oh my goodness, Dr. So-and-so. Fluffy is just not sleeping. I'm having a really hard time. Da, 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 da. By the way, these little things help you be personable with your professors, because sometimes it can feel like, how is the professor going to know me other than me just asking them questions? And sometimes, especially for those of you guys who are like introverts, or you just have like hard time, like social anxiety, it's very helpful to just think about. And I tell you, I used to use the same thing with, I'd be like, you know what, this is a small, I'm not saying it's super personal, like, oh, I don't know, don't get too deep with them. But little things that you can, like, oh, they had macaroni and cheese in the calf today. That's my favorite. What's your favorite food, Dr. So-and-so? Oh yeah, my mom makes it all the time. Little things, that way they can say that you are pleasant and that they know you on a more personal level and not just a random student in my class. Okay, so again, letters of recommendations are really, really important to make sure that you're building these relationships. Okay, another chat question. Would you recommend only doing that with professors for classes that contribute to our majors? Or should we decide based on how we think that they are? I would say you should do it for whoever you really click with. There are gonna be professors who are like, I can't sit here and talk to you for more than 5 minutes. It could be a language barrier. It could be you just don't click with people. If they are somebody who's outside of your major, but you click with them, they can write you a letter of recommendation for many other things. You don't always need to have somebody specifically for your major for the things that you're applying to. So I would suggest getting close with anybody who you click with, but make sure that you always have at least one who is in your major. So especially for people, I mean, this probably goes for everybody. Bio majors, STEM people, English major, psychology. I'm pretty sure if you want to do something specific in your field, again, for like internships and summer programs, you're probably going to need somebody who's specifically in your major to write that letter of recommendation. So you're going to know the people who are in your the professors of your major, and you're going to be making relationships with people who have the same major as you, who are older than you. And they're going to say, oh, so-and-so is really nice. She writes everybody like a letter of recommendation. cool, I'm gonna get cool with Dr. So-and-so. That way she knows my name, and when I ask her for letter recommendation, she'll be nice to me and she'll write me one, and she'll get me into this program that I wanna do for the summertime. What's your advice for helping us get to a point where our professors don't feel like we're using them for letters? It's to start early and go consistently. So if I never talk to you and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, Dr. So-and-so, how you doing? By the way, they're gonna be like, okay, she just wants me for a letter and I don't know this person. But if from the beginning of the semester, you're going to office hours, you're talking to them, you're building this relationship, then in the middle of the semester, when you ask me for a letter of recommendation, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. I think the best way is to make sure that you are building a relationship before you ask for anything. And the best way to do that is to start at the beginning of the semester. That way they know that you genuinely have a relationship with them and that you're not just coming out of the blue trying to talk to them. No problem. See you guys later. Okay, let me go ahead and wrap this up. The last thing for the Be Smart mnemonic here is be teachable. So being able to take advice from those who are helping you along the way. So like I mentioned, it's really important for you to have people who are in the years ahead of you, whether it be in positions that you want to get into or people who are just like your mini mentors, and actually learn from them and learn from their mistakes. Okay, also moving forward, we can talk about studying smart. So 3 tips to studying smart: preparing before class, reading the learning objectives, reading the chapters, reading the syllabus. We talked about the syllabus earlier. Reading the syllabus, making sure that you are marking down every time there's a quiz and exam and putting it in your calendar. That way you are never caught off guard. Watching any videos before classes start, and finishing your previous assignments before the next class starts. And again, meeting with your professors during office hours in order to get any of your questions answered. Number 2, master your note-taking skills. So if you like to voice record your lectures, do that. If you like to print things out and write on those, do that. If you like to use your iPad, do that. But again, figure out what works for you. That way you're not figuring it out as you're going along. And then fill in the gaps after class with a friend. It's a really great way to help you with your knowledge. Oh, time management. Okay, I think the best way to work with time management, it kind of depends. I would say to know what is difficult for you and spend the most time not afraid of it, but like working on it and conquering those different things. So if you're like, you know what, I am killing my biology class. Every time I do my flashcards, I get them all right. But in math, I'm struggling, then I'm gonna make sure that I have more time allotted for me to go through my math homework and to visit my math professor's office hours than me giving myself 3 hours to go through the things that are easy for me. So I'm really big on Google Calendar, mapping out not only time for me to go to class, but again, also go to office hours, also study, also travel, sleep, eat, like map out everything and give yourself time to rest in between. I can go into more details, but I feel like definitely making sure that you have everything scheduled out is the best way to make sure that you're using your time wisely. And then also get help early. So we talked about office hours a million times now, but no problem if you guys have to go. Definitely have a great rest of your evening. But yes, make sure that you get help early. If you find that you are like, I'm not understanding this, don't wait until a quiz or an exam to see a poor grade for you to be like, okay, let me go ahead and get a tutor. There are so many tutors in every single class, and so it's very easy for you to study in groups, teach the content back, do practice exams, and again, go to the teaching assistant's office hours. That way you can ask for help. And then also, one thing that I didn't know before I went off to college and I realized it in my graduate school program is that if you are not happy with the results that you got, whether it be in an exam or a quiz or even a homework assignment, if you are really working hard and your professors see that, don't be afraid to ask for an extension, a redo, or a takeover. And this can be anything from, I really didn't do well on that essay, but I worked really hard on it. Can you give me advice on what I need to do and give me an opportunity to rewrite it, to where I've been working so hard and I cannot finish this on time. I need to turn it in the next day. If you ask, you have a better chance of getting in than if you don't ask at all and you're just turning in things late or just saying, oh, I guess I'll take this grade. I've been able to turn things in late, retake whole exams that change my whole letter grade. Like if you don't ask, you won't receive. So never be afraid to ask for help. You're probably not the only one needing clarification, and if you don't ask, you'll never receive it. Okay, last thing here, we're gonna talk about setting SMART goals. So the first thing is to be specific. So the devil is in the details. If you are strategic of your goals, then you can work backwards, and then that's how you know where to start. Measurable. So what does success look like to you? If you're gonna say that you're gonna be Miss HBCU Teen, does that look like winning the entire title? Does that look like doing a certain amount of events? Does that look like raising a certain amount of money? And again, what is the first step that you can take to get there? Accountable. What does it look like if you fall off? Do you guys have pageant accountability partners here? Like somebody who's like, hey girl, have you practiced your talent? Do you have your paperwork in? Like, make sure that you're not going through this alone, especially like pageants is such a big sisterhood, and college is a really great way that you're gonna have accountability partners as well. So like I have my partner in crime, my bio baddie. Like I was like, I would not have been able to graduate if it wasn't for her. Like, come on girl, let's get up. Like we're gonna study today. Know your goals and know who can help you to achieve those things. And then be realistic. What can you reach given your current mindset, your motivation, your time frame, your skills, and your ability? And then lastly, my whole screen is in my way. Be timely. When should you start? When should you have accomplished something by what time? And that's what goes back to being specific about something. So this is just a caveat into this, but like something that you guys are going to want to do is look into doing summer programs. And if you are not thinking ahead of time, like doing your research about, okay, what summer programs are out there for my major or my future career goals? When should I apply for these things? What do I need in order to be a good applicant? If you're not thinking ahead, then you're going to be like, oh crap, I missed the deadline. Or I should have been thinking about this months ago. That way I could have asked for this letter of recommendation in enough time. Or maybe I should have done more community service before even applying. So if you think ahead, you can map out your goals working backwards. What would your advice be for making friends and having good relationships with your classmates? I would say, first of all, just be yourself. You want to click with people because you're being your authentic self and not because you are trying to fit in with groups and different people. Like I mentioned before, joining activities that are what you're actually interested in. So if you're interested in makeup, joining the makeup club, you're automatically going to have something in common with the people who are also in the group with you. So doing things like that. And then as well as, I should have mentioned this in my PowerPoint, I'm gonna add this for next time, but always having at least 1 to 2 friends in every single class. So the first person that you sit next to, and I recommend doing this like on the first day of classes, it's gonna be really hard because you're gonna be like shy and not wanting to talk to somebody, but for the days where I'm sick, I can't make it to class, I'm doing the homework assignment, I'm completely lost, I have no idea what to do, or I missed the homework assignment, can you remind me what it is? Make sure that you have at least 1, but preferably 2 to 3 classmates. And then you can build a friendship with them by studying with them. Say like, once you have their number, it's very easy to be like, hey, I'm in the CAF studying for the bio quiz. Are you around? Do you want to come and study? And especially your freshman year, like freshman year is the year to be bold, because that's when people are like, I don't know anybody else. If somebody invites me to do something, I'm gonna do it. Like if you ask me to come to the CAF at 3 a.m. and you say that you're studying for bio, I may do it. Now, junior year, I'm not getting up out my bed. Like I'm not doing it. But freshman year, like people are willing to make friends and to do things because it's like, we're just all trying to figure it out and make new friends and make new connections. So I would say, go out of your way to make connections in classrooms and in different organizations. Then also don't be afraid to like invite people to do things, whether it be like, hey, I'm about to walk to the grocery store, to hey, I'm studying, or I'm about to go to the library, or I want to go to this campus event. Are you free this day? Like literally just inviting people places will also really help you build your friendships, because everybody's new. Nobody knows anybody. So they're wanting to make friends too. And if somebody invites you, 9 times out of 10, like you're gonna go because you want to make friends as well. So yeah, I'm gonna end off here because I want to respect the rest of your time, but I will definitely leave this open if anybody has any questions about absolutely anything, whether it be, again, college, HBCU life, pageants. I'm an open book. You can ask me anything. If not, we can close it off and I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. especially when it comes to you guys is again intros and talents, or again just anything pageant related. I've got you on that front. And like I said, I'll see you guys on the pageant weekend, so I'll be there to help you guys as well. But yeah, any other questions? Are you guys excited for college? Are you like still, it's February, you guys are still like best time to contact me, if you're gonna text me, you can text me at any time. I'm a graduate student, so I don't sleep. But and then I'll tell you, if you want to call me, then I'll tell you when a good time to call me is, but usually in the evenings. But yeah, are you guys like still trying to take in your senior year, or are you like already ready to go off to college?
I'm ready to go off to college. My bags are packed. My bags, they're literally right next to me packed. Like, they're in my totes and everything. All I gotta do is get my microwave, my mini fridge, and my vacuum.
I'm so dead.
I said after prom, it could end there. Like, wrap it up.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, prom is a good time, so you definitely want to have those experiences. Make sure that you're taking it all in, but at the same time, like, college is about to be so fun, so I'm excited for you guys.
I feel like it's so bittersweet. Like, I'm like my friends, but then I'm also like, I'm so excited just to see what's gonna happen, like where my life's gonna go. But my friends,
I want to experience my own homecoming. I feel like that's going to be so much fun. Like, I always go to everybody else's, like, when my band does HBCU tours, we always go to everybody else's homecoming. But this is going to be my first actual homecoming. I'm excited. I want to do my shopping early and everything.
Oh my goodness, you are so ready. That is fun. Literally, I didn't go to a homecoming until I was an HBCU student, or until I was a college student. So you already have a one up because like you're really looking forward to it. So that's exciting. I mean, that's months away, but it's good to look forward to it. That's really, really fun. Aw.
Yeah, because I'm from New York and we don't get homecoming at all, bro. We don't have no parties here.
Oh my goodness, no. I mean, I used to even love like homecoming in high school. Like that was fun. But of course, homecoming at a HBCU is completely different. So
Miss Lerone mentioned that, you know, every year you always say you want to back down, but you always step up to the plate. Can I ask, like, what about this pageant makes you want to step up to the plate so much?
First of all, I'm an HBCU advocate. Like, I love HBCUs. And so I really think that my life changed, not only when I went to college, but specifically because I went to an HBCU. And I think also I really love how pageantry has like changed me as a person. It's allowed me to really figure out like who I am, what I like. So this is just a really great mix between those two things, like being able to help younger, and again also being a first generation college student. Like I said, I had no idea what the heck I was doing, and I made so many mistakes, and I'm like, if somebody just would have given me some advice and let me know before I went, I would have been able to like take over the world. So I always want to be able to give you girls, young girls, like in the shoes that I was in, I want to give you guys what I wish I would have known, especially in the space for people who are beauty and brains and have these big dreams and big goals. And I genuinely, I mean, Black women, we run the world. Like, not to be all Beyonce-y, but like, y'all are gonna do the things that you said that you're gonna do. And I believe and I trust, like, I put my money, I bet on Black women. Like, I love Black women, I believe in Black women. And so any way that I can like support and uplift them, I love to do that. So this is literally just like the abdomen of that. It's like, you're Black women who also love Black women because you're going to HBCUs, you're smart Black women because it's just like, it's a win-win situation, you know? And like next year, I'm probably gonna come back and be on the board. But like I said, this year with my schooling, I was like, I cannot. I was like, it's just too much. But I miss being around you girls and really like helping you however that I can. Because like I said, I did not have a mentor when I was growing up. And I feel like it would have made such a big difference in my life, even if it was just like one night like this, hearing some of this advice. At least I hope.
Yeah, I feel like this pageant has done that for me. It has really, it given me an open eye more than I realized that it would. Like, my whole demeanor, my mindset has changed dealing with the pageant, even with the simple stuff as far as, you know, dressing up for yourself, not just for anybody else. Like, with this pageant, I started dressing up for myself. I started expressing myself a little bit more than I already did before. So it's like, I feel like I'm getting my voice with the help of this pageant.
I love that so much for you. Congratulations. And it's literally just beginning. Like you're going to grow, into who you are in these next couple of years, like genuinely. And I feel like I always say this about Spelman, and I think it's specific to all HBCUs, but I think specifically because Spelman is, an HBCU for women, it's like all these girls are smart Black girls. Like, what makes you different? What makes you unique? You have to be able to look and be like, I'm the smart Black girl who XYZ. I'm the smart Black girl who can sing her butt off. I'm the smart Black girl who has a big heart and loves to give back. I'm the smart Black girl who, and that's how you truly define yourself beyond your race and beyond your gender. And I think that's really powerful and it's special because, especially with us, again, being Black girls in America, like that's all we think about a lot of times. It's like, I can't do this because I'm Black, or I can't do this because I'm a woman, or maybe I can only do this because I'm, all these, again, limiting beliefs. And so I think it's fun and powerful to find out who you are beyond, again, your race and your gender. And you can find that when you go off to college as an HBCU in these coming of age years. So look forward to it. Ask yourself these hard questions. That way you can really get to the bottom of it. And I can't wait to see the young women that you become.
Well, awesome. Can't wait to see you all next week in person. I'm glad that you were able to meet Queen Brelynn. On a personal tip, one of the perks of this pageant is like, we're all goats. We're goats. Y'all are goats. Y'all are rising goats. And so when y'all get to y'all campuses and become Miss Freshman, a lawyer, the doctor, I'm going to say, yeah, I know the first is she still in the call? Well, she gone, but I know the first African-American woman president of the United States. Cool. First doctor, what's the song you say? Something about writing her book on a TV show and Abbott Elementary or something like that. Cool. That's one of the perks of being a part of this network and meeting each other. So thank you so much, Brelynn.